Okay, hello everyone. It is that time once again to call out Spectrum News NY1 because time and time again, this TV station just proves that they don't really care too much about the crime. Now, I'll give them credit. Last night during the 10 o'clock newscast, they actually did lead off with crime. And they actually spent 5 minutes talking about three incidents regarding sexual assault cases. Two that happened in Manhattan and one that happened in the Bronx. So I'll give them credit, but they did not send a reporter over to the awful shooting that happened on the Belt Parkway yesterday. And everybody else sends a reporter, but not NY1. That sounds very suspicious. But News 12 Brooklyn, I'll give credit, they actually spent almost 90 seconds and they even sent a reporter. So, if News 12 Brooklyn can send a reporter to the Belt Parkway, I don't know why NY1 could not, because NY1 is clearly available on Optimum in the city. So, they're not Spectrum. They're also part of Optimum now, too. So, they have an obligation to cover every important story that involves the crime. And that one on the Belt Parkway yesterday, and I'll mention, my parents were stuck in Long Island yesterday. Because, think about it, everybody was trying to get to the Verrazano Bridge. So in order to get to the Verrazano, everybody was taking the Northern State, everybody was taking the LIE, just so they could avoid the Belt, get to the Gowanus, and then try to access the Verrazano that way. So that caused a big headache because of this nonsense that happened on the Belt. So once one highway gets knocked out, you know there's going to be a lot of traffic. So, on the home page, and I will acknowledge it, this should be the top story. I'm in agreement that today, given the fact that it's been 20 years since the awful crash that happened here in Queens with American Airlines Flight 587, the crash near Breezy Point, and nothing should be taken away. This is a day to mourn and grieve 20 years later for all the family and friends who may have lost someone on that flight 20 years ago. But also, headlines, I don't know why they couldn't have on the headlines section the incident happened in Brooklyn yesterday. You don't see anything on it, and they only spent 45 seconds. I'll read this after. Because there was a lot of pedestrian-involved incidents in Brooklyn as well. So I'll get to that after. So I just don't understand why. I mean, look, if you look at Brooklyn for an example, I'm just going to take a look, community and neighborhoods. Just taking a look at the Brooklyn section, at least they have it. That's, you have to find it on the website. But, the problem is, again, 45 seconds, and they only have an article that that they have here. So, I'm not going to read from the Brooklyn paper. I might as well just read from the NY1 website. So, let's read this. Police say they shot and killed a 65-year-old man on the Belt Parkway on Thursday, November 11th, after he approached officers with a gun. The NYPD said an officer just after 4 p.m. stopped a gray Jeep Cherokee that was traveling eastbound on the Belt Parkway near the Bay Street exit. As the officer approached the vehicle, according to police, he sped away. The officer chased after him and moved her unmarked car in front of his Jeep. He then allegedly rear-ended the officer's car near the Verrazano Bridge and continued on the parkway. The officer then called for backup and an additional unit pulled the man over. As he exited the Jeep, police said he grabbed the gun and advanced towards them. According to the NYPD officials, the officer fired their weapons after he did not drop the gun. The man was struck several times and was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The man's gun was recovered at the scene. Police said he had 7 prior arrests mostly for vehicular crimes. An investigation is ongoing. The man's identity is not confirmed as of this writing. Well, at 11 o'clock last night, Channel 7 was reported that the gunman who was firing at the officers was a 65-year-old male. So let's see if the Brooklyn paper has it on their website. They have that detail. See, New York 1 missed one crucial detail because Channel 7 did mention that last night when they let off. Okay, so let's see. Let's check ABC 7 NY. That's a good idea. Let me put the Brooklyn paper back here. Because again, I know Channel 7 was mentioning that, mention that. Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to look for it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything on here. So let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Not seeing anything regarding top stories. I mean, this is a very disorganized website. Oh, okay. Here we go. New York City. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and I heard about this. There was a woman who was shot in an apartment in the Lower East Side last night. Okay, let's just search for it, because they make it easier to search. Let's see. This is it. This is it. So I just want to see if they did update that. Because thankfully, if they have a video, I can fast forward to that part. Okay, what is going on? Why is my computer freezing?
A deadly police shooting, tying up traffic on the Belt Parkway in Brooklyn, taking a driver's life and leaving a...
So let's see. I'm just going to pause. Let's see. Here we go. It says it right here. 65-year-old man. Right here. So there you go. New York 1 missed the crucial detail.
Also breaking...
Here we go. I'm so sorry about that. I meant to play that video. So I'll give Channel 7 credit. They let off with this last night.
Also breaking right now at 11, a shooting on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. A woman shot in the neck inside an apartment. She was taken to the hospital, we are told. Right now, she is in critical condition. New York cops still on the scene right now. So far, no arrests.
So again, I'll give them credit. They actually let off. 364 Madison Street. So let's see where this is. In Manhattan. Funny enough, there's actually a Madison Street not too far in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Oh, look at this. Not too far from where the East Broadway subway station is. There you go. Now let's get to this one. I do apologize. My computer always acts slow whenever there's a Windows 10 update. Driver faces list of charges after fatally striking a pedestrian in Williamsburg. A city driver has been taken into custody following a deadly collision with a pedestrian early Thursday morning in Brooklyn. The NYPD says the victim, a 32-year-old man from California, was trying to cross Bushwick Avenue near Mayoral Street in Williamsburg just after midnight when he was struck by a black Chevy Camaro. Sadly, the victim was pronounced dead at the hospital. The driver, identified as Tyler Patrick, was not injured. He is now facing multiple charges, including vehicular manslaughter, assault, reckless endangerment, operating a motor vehicle impaired by drugs, and reckless driving. Okay, and then there was another incident. I'm trying to find it right here. Oh, by the way, this got ignored. New York 1 didn't cover this. Major fire happened in Sunset Park. So I'll just read this one and then we'll get to the fire in Sunset Park. 14-year-old hit by car in Gravesend, saved by Gravesend cast and crew. A 14-year-old boy and his poodle was struck by an out-of-control driver in Gravesend back on Monday, November 8th. So I just want to see if this is correct. Yes, okay. But the 14-year-old boy was saved by the heroism of the cast and crew of a TV show bearing the same neighborhood's name. Cops say that the teenager was walking his puppy near West 2nd Street and Avenue X at about 5:45 p.m. when an 80-year-old elderly woman driving a Chevy sedan lost control of her vehicle and rear-ended a parked Toyota before and striking the kid on the sidewalk. EMTs rushed the boys to Maimonides Medical Center where he is currently in stable condition. The 80-year-old female driver and her 85-year-old male passenger was taken to NYU Langone for evaluation. The incident could have turned out far worse if not for the heroics of William DeMeo, a Southern Brooklyn native and actor currently starring on the Amazon Prime mob drama Gravesend. DeMeo and the film crew was shooting a scene a block away when they heard a loud crash, the Star told the Brooklyn paper. When DeMeo went back to his trailer, producer Michael Festingos gave the frantic news of a teen trapped underneath the vehicle. So thank goodness. So that is a blessing in disguise. Perfect timing. Here we go, yeah. I don't know, a Chevy sedan, that looks like more of a Chevy Equinox. Yeah, see? That's a Chevy Equinox. Okay, next up. This got ignored. Fire rages at Sunset Park construction site. Workers injured. A construction site in Sunset Park was engulfed by an inferno on November 9th, trapping several construction workers on the upper floors of the partly constructed building on 4th Avenue. Smoke eaters received the 911 call of a fire on the ground floor of the site near 63rd Street at 8:45 a.m. and 17 units with 75 firefighters responded to put the blaze under control just before 10 a.m. According to an FDNY deputy chief, firefighters rescued 3 workers. Here we go. Were rescued from the 5th floor. 2 workers jumped to safety from the 3rd floor, and another worker jumped to an adjoining building. 9 civilians sustained injuries, including one with serious smoke inhalation. 2 firefighters were injured in the incident, although injuries were considered non-life-threatening. Video from the scene shows a large plume of black smoke rising through the building and into the air, while a slight bright orange flame burned to the ground level. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to read any more details, but that was just a very scary incident, it sounds like. And New York one ignored it. I didn't see anything about it on the website. Alright, so I'm going to read 2 more because I don't want to get too carried away with what's going on here. Let me just move this a little bit to the left so you can read it. There we go. New video released of suspect in violent Central Park sex assault. Here we go. At 7:21 a.m. on November 11th, cops responded to a 911 call regarding an assault in the vicinity of Swan Lake and Center Drive. Upon their arrival, police found a 27-year-old woman had been approached from behind by an unknown man who joked and raped her. The joking caused the victim to lose consciousness before the suspect committed the rape. The victim was taken to an area hospital in stable condition. Later on November 11th, Crime Stoppers released a video in connection to a potential suspect. So, that's very scary. Very scary. I was just in Central Park for my birthday on Monday. I mean, you just cannot make this stuff up. You just cannot. And then where is the other incident that happened on the FDR Drive? I want to see if I can find it. Oh, another fire that got ignored by New York one. So I'll get to that after. Let's see. Trying to see if I can find... Here we go. Another woman reported a man attempted to sexually assault her on the footbridge at approximately 103rd Street at the FDR Drive in Manhattan. Good news is the suspect was later arrested in regards to the other incidents. So that's good news at least. Okay, here we go. Fire in Lincoln Square apartment leaves 2 people dead. This got ignored by NY1. Here we go. Authorities are investigating the cause of a fire that left 2 people dead in a Lincoln Square apartment. According to police at 11:35 p.m. on November 10th, officers responded to a 911 call regarding a residential fire inside of 216 West 62nd Street. FDNY personnel responded and got the fire, which broke out in a 4th-floor apartment, under control. Sadly, a 44-year-old man and a 70-year-old woman were found inside the apartment shortly after. Paramedics declared both victims dead at the scene. Their identities are being withheld pending family notification. A preliminary investigation by the fire marshal believes the fire was not suspicious. However, there is an ongoing investigation. Okay, so there's one more we gotta read, because again, I will give credit to NY1. Alright, they spent a lot of time talking about the sexual assault cases yesterday. Cops cuff creep who sexually assaulted a 13-year-old inside of Bronx Park. And guess what, folks? The suspect is 18! So it sounds like he's going to be charged as an adult. Let's hope. Police arrested a man who said they sexually assaulted a young teen in a Bronx park. 18-year-old Ramel Bellarmi of Franklin Avenue was arrested and charged with criminal sexual act, attempted sexual abuse, criminal obstruction of breathing, assault, and harassment. Authorities say that at 2:35 p.m. on Monday, November 8th, the victim was walking home from school through Crotona Park when they were allegedly approached by Bellarmi. Let's see. So this is very bad typing. Was the 13-year-old girl with a group of friends? Bellarmi proceeded to grab the teen, throw them to the ground, and forcibly remove their leggings before sexually assaulting the victim. Bellarmi then allegedly stole the victim's phone before fleeing the scene. The victim was taken to an area hospital for evaluation and was subsequently treated and released. So, I don't know why the suspect was not charged with robbery. That is very unusual. Good news is the police did apprehend the suspect yesterday, so that's good news at least. But the issue is with the bail reform law, we don't know if this guy has had any previous arrests, so that makes it very suspicious, you know? Okay, next up, to wrap up the video, I want to show you this. So, we just got our official look at the real results of the New York City mayoral election that happened on November 2nd. And surprisingly, Curtis Lewa did very well in the northeast section. So let me see if I can zoom in and find Fresh Meadows here. I just want to see if I can find it. Okay, if not, I have a way to do this. So let's see. Instagram photo downloader. Thankfully I can find it. This should be it right here. I'm going to go on the fly here to find it. Let's see if I can pull it up. So here we go. Let's see if I can put new image in the tab. There we go. Now I can zoom in. Okay, so this is the official map. And as you can see here, Sliwa did very well in the northeast section. So according to this map right here, this appears to be where the Long Island Expressway and the Clearview meet up. So only one little part of Fresh Meadows went for Adams. Everywhere else in Fresh Meadows, it looks like Curtis Lewa did very, very well, which I am honestly very shocked for my area, which normally leans Democrat. That is very, very surprising, to say the least. And looks like Sliwa did very well in Whitestone. No surprise with the Italian population up there. Howard Beach, look at that. Sliwa did very well in Howard Beach. Because originally, you know, that could have... There were a lot of Bill Pepitone supporters in Howard Beach. And then, no surprise, Ridgewood went for Sliwa. So that doesn't surprise me. Looks like Maspeth even went for Sliwa, according to this map. But then look at this. Southern Brooklyn. I am very shocked. This is... Where's Mill Basin? Look at this. Mill Basin went for Sliwa. Look at that. Mill Basin. And remind you, Mill Basin normally votes Democrat. So that is a shock right there. Especially because Mill Basin is a blue-collar area. So, look at that. I mean, the rest of Brooklyn went for Sliwa, it looks like. So it shows Brooklyn's really divided, because it looks like Williamsburg went for Adams. Greenpoint went for Adams. I'm kind of surprised Greenpoint and Williamsburg didn't flip. But no surprise, Bushwick went for Adams. Bedford-Stuyvesant went for Adams. No surprise there. As far as Manhattan is concerned, I don't know what's up with Manhattan. You know, everybody just loves to vote Democrat in Manhattan. I would have thought here to here would have flipped. But I thought maybe Midtown would have flipped. Guess not. But Sliwa got some parts of the Bronx, too. Look at that. And then there's something else I want to show you, if I can find it. J.C. Colton. That's the guy on Twitter. Let's see if I can find it. That's not him. No, I do apologize, folks. J.C. Colton. Let's see. It's J.C.C. Colton. There we go. Found it. Okay, so let's see if I can find it. I'm going to keep looking. By the way, Sliwa's going to be back on WABC in the next couple of days. No, I'll just pull this up. Make it easier. And then I'll backtrack. I don't know what's up with Twitter today. It seems I can't even load any pictures. I'm going to keep looking. Here we go. This is it. So I'm going to retweet this at Andy's Randomness so you can see it for yourself. But you can see right here, Sliwa actually flipped a lot of Democrat seats in Brooklyn, and particularly in Nili Rozick's district. And I actually reached out to the Queens County Republican Patriots, and there is a female candidate. I forget her name right now, but there is a female candidate who is going to start collecting signatures sometime next year. A Republican, so that might be a good sign that we may have a challenger to Nili Rozick. So there is a slim chance that Assembly District 25 could flip next year. So we'll have to see how that ends up. Assembly District 28 was pretty close. Even Ron Kim's district was pretty close. Look at that. Ed Braunstein's district was... Well, no surprise there. I mean, Braunstein, I think, represents a lot of Whitestone, if I'm correct. So there you go. And lastly, we need to get to Eric Adams, because there is a lot that Eric Adams has been up to the past couple of days. And I know I'm making this video longer than it has to, but we need to talk about him not being intimidated. And I'm sorry if this video gets monetized or if I'm, you know, looking for it. Yeah, Channel 7 did a good job with this story right here. The mayor-elect dismisses Black Lives Matter's threats of riots if a specific NYPD unit is resurrected during the Bloomberg era. So let's read this. New York City Mayor-elect Eric Adams met with Black Lives Matter Greater New York Wednesday. A conversation that ended in heat fashion, with organizers threatening protest and violence if the mayor-elect brings back the controversial plainclothes anti-crime unit. Adams plans on doing just that, promising he would resurrect the undercover police unit that was deeply involved with the stop and frisk tactic. Okay, so let's read this quote here. Black Lives Matter's Hawk Newsom said, "If they are going to go back to the old ways of policing, then we are going to take to the streets again. There will be riots, there will be fire, and there will be bloodshed." And look at this. I'm going to say this. Eric Adams said the right thing. I'm going to give him credit on that. On Thursday, the new mayor-elect said, "That's silly, and I think New Yorkers should not allow rhetoric like that." Look at that. He called them a fringe group of 13 people. And then look, this is a good quote. "There are very few things that intimidate me. There are a very few things that scare me. New Yorkers are not going to live in fear, and we're not going to be intimidated by anyone." So, does it sound less like Eric Adams is taking an Ed Koch type of approach? Because it sounds like it. It sounds just like it from what I'm reading. That's the impression Eric Adams is giving me right here. So, trust me, I don't think Eric Adams is going to be intimidated about solving the crime. So, just going to get rid of this. So we're going to take a look at Eric Adams' Twitter feed. And oh, look at this. Swastikas drawn at a Brooklyn subway station. So look at that. It seems like the mayor wants to be involved. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find something that's not the Daily News. Okay, let's hope I can do it this way. Here we go. An anti-Semitic bigot scrawled swastikas on 4 MTA posters inside a Brooklyn subway station. Police said the incident happened at the Fort Hamilton Parkway station on the morning of October 20th. Okay, so I'm going to continue reading. The suspect is still being sought. The incident's under investigation by the Hate Crimes Task Force. So, there you go. I mean, Eric Adams wants to be involved with discussing crime, and I hope he continues it. See, he tweeted about the sexual assaults. So I'll give Eric Adams credit. I'll give Eric Adams a lot of credit. And then look what he tweeted. "The city must have a renewed vigilance as we continue to face brazen acts of violence at an alarming and unacceptable rate." So, remember, Adams was a former police officer. So, this is the picture that could define Eric Adams' first 90 days as mayor. First 100 days as mayor. Because once it's January 1st, Eric Adams is going to have the biggest task to fix in New York City. I mean, he's been saying he wants to get involved with the crime problem, and I really hope he does, because he could be on the right side of history. He could be the savior of the crime problem that we've needed in New York City. And there is a possibility that he may even bring back stop and frisk. there is a chance that he may refund the de Blasio cuts to the NYPD. I would hope that this picture right here defines Eric Adams. And Eric Adams says that he's not going to be intimidated. So, I hope that smile means a lot, Eric Adams, because you are going to be held liable for trying to fix the crime problem that we are desperately facing as a city. So, that's going to wrap up this video. In New York 1, again, you're going to keep being called out so you get your act together. So thank you for watching.